Howdy, folks, and welcome. Creepy Kentuckian here.
And I'm Uncle Bill. You ready for a fun-filled night of talking about Korean horror film?
You ready for some hammering to the genitalia? Violently?
Yeah, there's some violent genitalia hammering in this.
This is
that should be.
Our buddy William, a.k.a. Dumal.
Yeah.
Is always requesting these crazy ass movies for us to watch. And this is not an exception, Uncle Bill. From 2010, I can't believe that this movie eluded us for this long. You would think, I vaguely remember when it came out and people talking about it, but I didn't have any idea what it was, because when it comes to J horror, or in this case, K horror. Is that a thing? It's like K-pop. It's K horror.
I guess, yeah.
Because I'm from Eastern Kentucky. Fuck, I don't know where the difference between Korea and Japan and all them other nations. I just don't know. I know that they're all violent as fuck. All these movies that they make in Japan and Mandarin and all this shit.
Here's the thing about like Asian horror films, right? When they go like all out, they completely surpass anything that like any other country does. Like for these Cat 3, for the Cat 3 films and for films like this, which were kind of past that code, I'm pretty sure, but like when they really want to do something shocking, like I don't think there's any other type of movie that gets more shocking than like Asian film.
Here's what I don't understand. I've never understood this, right? So they can get away with like anything
apparently
over there. Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, those guinea pig movies are fucked up as hell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They don't appreciate porn over there.
I've never understood that either. Like,
vaginas are offensive, but if you want to take a hammer to somebody's balls, and
that's fine.
That's okay.
If you
cut a girl's head off and all this shit.
Yeah.
But
have fucking cannibal scenes and pregnant women getting dismembered. I mean, they ain't, you know.
But, you know, honestly, this is a down an avenue of horror that we don't really cover a whole lot. So, director Kim Jee-Woon, I hope I pronounced that correct, Mr. Jee-Woon. I saw The Devil 2010. What was big in 2010 that would have inspired something? I mean, I guess Hostel came out like 3 or 4 years earlier, and the Saw movies were popular.
Yeah, Hostel was 2005, and I guess the Hostel 2 was 2007. So, yeah. I mean, this to me would have been at the tail end of that torture porn kind of stuff. I'm not sure what the hell inspired this, really. I mean, the main heel in the movie is the same guy that was in Old Boy. So maybe other Asian films.
The Chan-wook Park movies, because I don't think they were as violent. Maybe parts of, I wouldn't mind going back and rewatching those movies, but that's the only thing that it really reminded me of was those. But those movies had been done and out there for years in 2010. So I don't know. Maybe we could have researched it a little bit more to see what was the inspiration behind.
Well, this movie reminds me of like an updated version of those Cat 3 films, like from the 80s. It's kind of like what would happen if you had like more of a budget, better, you know, resources, and like it's like an updated version of that. Because it's got all the beats of a Cat 3 film. It's just, you know, past that time period. It's just kind of a modern take on it. But yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that you don't expect.
Yeah. We'll get into it. I mean, the movie starts with this young girl. Beautifully made movie too, by the way. Actually, a lot of these Korean and Japanese movies and stuff that we watch are very well made films, technically well made. You know, it's a snowy night in Korea.
Wasn't that a Dolly Parton song? Snowy Night in Korea.
Seoul. It's a snowy night in Seoul.
Yeah.
And there is a young girl who's stranded by the side of the road. She has a flat tire, Uncle Bill, and that's awful. Anytime you have a flat tire, and she's probably way out in the middle of nowhere, she couldn't even call AAA to come and fix her tar.
Or Triple H, he'd have been like,
but
he'd come there and spit water on her.
I think at this point in time, she's on the phone. This young girl's name, and I tried to write all these names down because I don't want to be confused. I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. So the woman's name is Jang Jee-Woon.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up.
And
I think we'll probably mess up all these names. I don't think that we should even try.
I'm going to try because I got to be fair to Jiangsu.
Okay.
So got a flat tire and a stranger approaches. It's this dude in kind of like a taxi bus sort of thing. I don't know what they call them over in Korea. And he's like, oh, I'll help out or whatever. And she's got anxiety and she's like, rightfully so when you see what happens here in a little bit. And she's like, no, I'm going to wait on the tow truck driver to come and help me and everything.
Yeah, she's like, nah, bro.
I'm okay. But yeah, that guy wanders off for a second or two, and then here he comes back, boys. And he beats the fuck out of her violently, but he's not done. And I think that the boyfriend, which Soo-Hyun was his name, Soo-Hyun.
Yeah.
Is on the phone like pretty much most of the time and doesn't know exactly what's going on, of course. Doesn't know the horrors that's to behold. Jang Jee-Woon.
One thing to note about him is that he works for like an agency that's similar to like the U.S. version of the CIA.
Yeah, the boyfriend does.
Yeah, the boyfriend. So that's what he's actually doing. He's on like a case or something when he gets this call.
So the sadistic Jang Kung-chul, that's the serial killer's name in this, who you said was in Old Boy, right? I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, he's the main dude in Old Boy, yeah.
Takes the young girl back to his lair and just does ungodly, sadistic shit to her, and you get to see most of it. Dismembers her, and not long afterwards you'll see pieces of her floating in the river, and they show all that in graphic violence. But hey, if you want to show a vagina on tape, well, that's not okay. You can't. You can't do that. You got a pixelated dick too.
So you come to find out that like, she's pregnant also, like, which like she tells him and he still kills her, which is great. I mean, that's fun stuff to start a movie off with. And then chops her up into a bunch of different pieces. And so the boyfriend, Soo-Hyun, he makes a list of possible suspects along with whatever that is. I forget. It's like it's not CSI, but it's something like that he works for.
NCIS.
Yeah. Special Victims Unit. He makes a list of Special Victims Unit Seoul. Yeah.
Seoul is like the only city in Korea. Yeah. It's the only one we know. Seoul. Korea City, Korea.
Yeah.
There you go.
Koreatown, Korea. Yeah. So that something would be like in an NES video game, Koreatown, Korea. So he makes a list of like 4 suspects that it could possibly be that did this. And he asks for a vacation, and then in his spare time, he hunts down like one by one each one of these suspects. And I believe it's the first guy. He catches him like jerking off or something in his house, and that's where the whole hammer scene comes in, where he fucking smacks his shit with a hammer, like, which is that might be the toughest scene to watch in the entire film.
This is like as he's getting ready to come or something too, right? Wasn't that?
Well, that's the thing. He was like jerking off, but like then he comes in and he starts interrogating him, and I guess he won't give him like the information that he wants, or he's not answering the questions right or something. Right. So he just smashes his ball sacky wacky. And then he moves on to the next guy who he hits with his car and like basically like tortures that guy and hospitalizes him. So then it's between the actual killer and like one other guy. He goes to the killer's parents' house and questions them about where he would be, and come to find out like he's able to like kind of find his lair. Where this is the only part of the movie I didn't really like, where just like out of pure fucking luck and happenstance, he finds like her ring that's down in a drain inside the killer's like lair. It's like, the fuck, what are the odds that would actually, like, it's down inside like a storm, like a vent drain or something like that.
But most revenge movies, I mean, maybe there's some like this, but like when they get to the guy, they know it's the guy.
Right.
They're going to off him. But
he knows it's the guy because he finds the ring. Yeah.
Right. But he doesn't do that, Uncle Bill. He fucks with him, basically, like tortures him and wants to inflict as much pain as possible before death. Such as, I wanted, like, okay, the scene in Pet Cemetery, right? God, the Achilles tendon.
It just gives you like full body shivers to think about it.
Dude, like times 100 in this movie. It's so graphic. They can't show Peter, but they're fine showing like gruesome, like butchering of the Achilles tendon.
So yeah, like once he figures out who it is, like you said, he makes up his mind that he's not going to go through like the proper channels or anything. Like he's going to torture this fucking guy. But the guy, like, I think why he cuts his tendon is he keeps like getting away, or he's like something happens where he's trying to slow him down, so he cuts his fucking Achilles tendon in one of those scenes, and he shoves it's just a hard.
There's a tracking device too that he.
Yeah, so that's the other part about it, and this makes no sense, by the way. So he shoves a GPS and some sort of microphone tracking device or something down this guy's throat. He's supposed to be able to hear everything he's saying. How the fuck would that work?
Exactly. Yeah, you're just going to hear like a bunch of fucking gassy shit from your belly, probably.
But yeah, he can hear like every word the guy says, so he can track him and hear like what he's saying. So he knows like what he's getting ready to do if he's talking to somebody before he does it. And then that proceeds to lead into another fucked up scene, which is where he goes over to his like one of his buddies' house, who's a fucking cannibal,
who's eating a fucking bowl of like fucking like flesh and shit, like it's fucking Apple Jacks or something. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
And
do cannibals do that? I wonder, Uncle Bill.
Yeah, they do that. He's got like a whole refrigerator full of like body parts and shit, and he's just getting ready to like kill this woman, but like the guy can hear what's going on, and through this magical tracking, and he busts in and like kind of like beats the ever living dog shit out of this cannibal. That's another thing about this detective too. He's like some sort of martial arts expert, because he just whips the shit out of that lead heel and the cannibal and everybody else who he comes in contact with. So yeah, he rescues them, hospitalizes the cannibal, and things kind of proceed.
Go from there. I mean, you get the idea of what type of movie this is, right?
It actually somehow or another kind of gets worse. like I don't know if it gets worse, but it just never stops.
No,
like up until the very end.
No, it's very out there for sure. I saw the devil, man. Like, this is just such a crazy, like, overly graphic, offensive, fantastically made though. Like, it's very well made. It's what's so weird. Like, movies with shit like this in it. For instance, there's another scene where he's fishing the fucking honing device out of his own shit.
Yeah. And then oh God, I don't know if I can say this. I don't talk about it. So let's just say that he gets the tracking device out of his own shit, and then he wants to throw off the detective, so he shoves down somebody else's throat. That's an actual scene in this movie.
Oh, yeah. This is a lot. This is 2.5 hour movie too, by the way. Which, dude, like, I mean, I'm not going to say that I enjoyed it because I really didn't enjoy it.
It's hard to say you enjoy a movie like this, but it is incredibly, I don't know how to explain. It's one of those movies where it goes all the way with everything. Like, if you're going to do a movie like that, and you're going to be like, I'm going to take it to the 10th degree or whatever, the last thing you want to see is somebody pussying out in a movie like that. And that happens constantly. But like in this one, it's like everything, he just puts everything up there.
They take it to the limit.
Yeah, he takes it to the limit for sure. But at the end of the day, though, the cool thing about this movie is at the end, he's torturing the hell out of this guy. And he drives like a screwdriver through his cheek and does all this like crazy stuff to him. And the guy just kind of looks up at him and he's like, basically like, there's nothing you could do to me that's going to matter, that, you know, is going to help anything or is going to hurt me or anything like that. And that just kind of like deflates the whole purpose of what he was trying to do. So but he does set up this killer ending. The ultimate revenge in this film is, and since he can't really like get any kind of revenge on the guy because he just doesn't give a shit, he sets up like a guillotine that is that's connected to, he's got like a bit in his mouth, like a horse bit, where like if anybody, it's connected to a door, if anybody opens this door, then if anybody opens the door, it jerks the thing out of his mouth and then the guillotine drops, right? So who does the cop get to like show up to open the door? His whole fucking family, like his mom and dad and his son, who's like, I don't know, 9, 10, something like that.
Oh, daddy.
So it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And it shows it too. Like it shows his head getting cut off.
Of course it does. They can show everything but Peters and vaginas.
Yeah. There's no subtlety in this movie, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot. This is, you don't watch movies like this with a crowd of people. You just don't. Like, to me, I mean, unless you know the crowd that you're with and you know, they know what they're in for. But it is very well made. I thought it was too long though. Like, even though I get what they were doing and great character development here with the two main leads and insane amount of gore and blood and shit throughout the entire movie. And yeah, I mean, this is that kind of film. I Saw the Devil. Now, is it a movie I would watch again voluntarily? No. But I could say that for most of the movies that Demal requests us to watch.
I can see myself watching it again because it's crazy, but it's also got an interesting message, which is like by the end of the movie, he's done all that horrible shit to all those guys and everything. And he ultimately, I'm talking about Sun Yin or Soo Hoon or Soo Hin or how you
Come of Sun Young guy.
Yeah. He just realizes that none of it mattered. Like, it didn't make him feel any better. It didn't help anything. Like, it didn't bring his wife back or his girlfriend or wife. I can't remember which one. It didn't do anything at all. And he's just completely depressed again and like back in the same kind of state that he was in. So it's just a reflection on revenge and, you know, if that actually helps anything.
It doesn't. Revenge and violence is never the answer.
Right.
Somebody needs to tell Kim Jee-Woon that.
Yep. And Kim Jong-il or Kim Jong-un or Kim Wong. What is his name? Which one is it now?
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-il is the dad. That's dead.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's I Saw the Devil, requested by our boy, William, a.k.a. Demal, who is, like we said, he's always got some interesting ones for us to check out. I'd like to tell people, thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury. and just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last Out on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.